Are they going to IPO soon? There are new estimates of Ripple coming out from banks before their IPO, and this one is worth $11,300,000,000, 0 cents. We will also look at some new information from an event that happened not long ago. David Schwartz talked about some new features that will be added to the XRP system. We'll also look at this Jake Klaber video where he talks about a $2,500 0 cents XRP. What this could mean is that there are new links between Ripple and tendencies. You can also read about Roger Vay's role in the early days of Ripple and how he might have helped. Everything we're going to talk about today will be in the video. Guys, please hit like if you find this useful. So I just wanted to make sure the statement was true. Is this really true? It's true what they said. It is true that DBS, the biggest bank in Southwest Asia, has priced Ripple at $11,300,000,000, 0 cents before its possible IPO in 2026. As you may know, DBS Bank is based in Singapore and is the biggest bank in Southeast Asia. They put a value on Ripple of $11,300,000,000, 0 cents. Since DBS has been a Ripple user for a long time, this doesn't surprise me. In the next 6 to 12 months, I think you'll get more ratings, and these ones will be better. The price of Ripple will go up, in my opinion, as it becomes more useful. The value comes as Ripple gets ready for its initial public offering, IPO, which CEO Brad Garlinghouse has said is planned for 2026. Many see this as a sign that institutions are becoming more confident in Ripple's technology and business plan. This is especially true in the cross-border payment sector, where Ripple is seen as a rival to the traditional SWIFT system. People see DBS's support as important because of its well-known status and power in Asian finance. They also see it as a sign that traditional banks are becoming more open to blockchain solutions. I love hearing that. This is the video I was talking about. Pay close attention, it's only 25 seconds long. In what ways do you think we'll start seeing builds? You should know that the XRP system was designed to meet certain financial needs, like those of the DEX, issued assets, escrows, and upcoming loans. I think we'll be able to handle the most important financial use cases with native players that, give people the features they need, like getting loans. But don't forget that Ripple is going to become a bank soon. If they want to, they could take on regular people like you and me once they are a bank. This will make Ripple useful in new ways, like letting people borrow money. You could get a loan in US dollars using your XRP in some kind of Ripple trust at their bank. That would be really cool. What do you know? Maybe Ripple does turn into a lender of last choice. Remember that becoming a lender of last option was always one of their goals or something they talked about a lot. From 2015 to 2020, I was interested in the most important business uses of XRP and wanted to check to see if anything had changed. A few times a month, I like to ask this question to see if there's anything else I might be missing. Bridge money for making payments across borders. So many of our videos are about that. I don't need to spend a lot of time on that. But if Ripple does become a financial company that banks trust, then you really can't go any higher in the banking world as long as you know where you stand. Since these other banks have to go through all of these steps and hoops to check the funds and other things, banks will trust each other. It would really prove that Ripple is a trustworthy partner in this new world of blockchain technology that is always changing. Settlements between institutions and treasury choices, banks and other financial institutions use XRP to settle large transactions fast and easily. Transactions can be settled in 3 to 5 seconds. And there aren't many fees. It talks about tokenization and small fees. XRP is good for micropayments because it has low fees and can be scaled up. As an example, think about times when you just wanted to read one story. They want you to sign up for some kind of newspaper or online newspaper, add for a month, 3 months, or 6 months. What if you could read that one item you were most interested in for just 20 cents, 25 cents, or 50 cents? You can't really do that with normal methods since it costs a lot to make that kind of payment. Since these are very small payments, using XRP to make them possible could be a huge benefit for businesses that sell a lot of small items. And if you get enough of that, it might make up for the money you're missing out on in important areas. A possible part in CBDC and state reserves. We are still looking into how XRP could be used in digital currencies backed by central banks as a strategic reserve asset. This could free up trillions of dollars for use by governments or businesses. We talked about getting rid of risk and Vostro accounts. That is a huge one. So here's some things we've already talked about. I don't want to say the same thing twice, but let's watch the Jake Klaber clip. XRP worth $2,500, 0 cents. What should take place? Come on. Let's talk about XRP since I bought some. What will happen if it gets to 2,500? What must happen for that to take place? For that to happen, there are a lot of things that must be in place. A lot of people will just say, oh, there's a switch. Leave this place with that stuff. That supply shock is what drives it to that value. But there are global financial events that need to happen first. That's the only way it could be. Economics is all about supply and demand. When people look at the overall market cap, they miss the point. What really matters is how much XRP is available for purchase along with the market's liquidity and value. But can't they make more XRP? They can't. So the first one, which was called 100 billion XNS, was created on June 2012, and they have since frozen that account. That means that no one can get to it. They can't get back in. They've never meant more. The XRP cannot be frozen. It's stuck at 100 billion, and every day 5,000 of them are burned. It's the only object on the planet that lowers the value of money other than uranium. Okay, there you go. If so, what will happen? I think I made a movie about this last week or the week before that. In it, I looked at numbers from 2024 to 2025. It is true that XRP is being taken off of platforms like Binance, Coinbase, and many more. A huge number of people are eagerly seeking XRP right now. Aside from that, I believe people are not recognizing how much low liquidity hurts market. What does that mean for the XRP price? I just learned about this new relationship, and I'm going to talk about it with you now. Kennedy and Ripple are working together to get more people in Asia to use XRP. So I came here to see what was going on. Ripple teamed up with 1080, a global fintech incubator, to start the XRPL Accelerator program in Singapore. The goal is to encourage new ideas and wider use of the XRP platform in the Asia-Pacific region. The goal of this project is to help early-stage startups and corporate innovation teams build on the technology behind the XRP ledger with a focus on the Asia-Pacific area. In this case, the grant money amounts to 200,000 non-equity payments. In short, it's a 12-week program that focuses on real-world asset tokenization, institutional decentralized finance, and how AI and blockchain can work together. That's really cool. So they can be a part of all of this. They need mentorship and networking. This grant might be something you want to look into if you are building in these areas. Location with a view. Singapore was picked because it has a strong fintech environment, clear rules, and is one of the most important blockchain hubs in Asia. A big investment that will host more than 300 crypto and blockchain businesses by 2025. That being said, this is pretty cool. Here are the requirements. You can read the story at tendencies.com if you're interested. Okay, now we have some new facts. It was in the early days that Roger Ver and Jed Maleb talked about the XRP system. Look it over.